I think I spelled my name wrong.
What's new, Aiden?
Okay, hello everybody. I see we have one person joining us online. You can say hello in the chat box so I know who you are. It's always nice to know who's watching. Today we're going to be talking about economic indicators. Are you ready?
Not yet.
Has everyone signed in?
Yeah.
You guys in the back. You guys good? You guys good? Did you guys sign in? All right. Hey, 2 more people are watching now. Fantastic. Sammy, hey Sammy. Glad that you can join us. The lighting looks good today. Okay. All right, so let's talk about GDP and GNP and all that good stuff. So GDP, what does it measure?
Gross domestic product.
Yes, what does it measure? That's
all
what it stands
the goods
for.
and services sold in a country in a given period.
It also measures all goods and services produced in a country.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Because remember, you can add up either way. It's all goods and services produced, or you can say all goods and services sold, because it's the income versus the expenditure approach. So
one is stick XN, the other one's RIP. Or WIP,
yes.
I thought. RIP. Or WIP.
Yay! We have more people. So many. It's gonna be hard to find a seat.
Well, Becca's in my seat.
Oh, Becca is in your seat. Dick, don't forget to sign in. What is the afternoon snack for today?
I don't know.
It looks like a chocolate milk and maybe some goldfish.
Right.
Okay, so
Tuesdays and
GDP.
Thursdays at the PB&J.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. It either measures total spending, or you can say total income. All the money made from producing, or all the money spent from consuming. And so remember, it is only adding the cost. No, I'll say the price. I don't want to say cost. The price of the final product. What do I mean by final?
The
No
one that's
use
sold
things.
to the consumer.
Yeah, when it's finally sold to the actual consumer. So if Papa John's buys pepperoni, that pepperoni is not counted until it is sold as a topping on pizza to the actual consumer of the pizza, to the person who buys the final product. So we don't count inputs. We don't know counting resources.
What's the word for the intermediate people between? There's a specific word I thought.
The
Inter-
idle purchase.
No, it's intermediate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Does anyone remember what it's called when you do count resources plus
Double
the
counting.
double counting? Double counting is bad. Double counting is if I were to say the price of a pizza is $20 plus the cost of pepperoni plus the cost of electricity plus the cost of labor. None of that would double the price of the pizza, since all of those things are included in the price already. No need to count them again. And remember, it has to be made where? If it's GDP,
Within the borders.
within the borders of a country, made in the country. It doesn't matter who is making it, as long as it's made in the country. Woo! Yes, more people. Don't forget to sign in.
More money.
Well, it's a standard.
Miss Taylor, was I supposed to sign
Right.
it yesterday?
I don't have.
I thought you did. No, you didn't.
No.
It's fine as long as you. It's not per person. It's just per hour.
I got kicked
You
out
didn't
of
say.
band, so it's
Can I sign
just,
it?
that's cool.
That's fine.
Why'd you get kicked out of band?
You know the story.
We're also live on YouTube. Okay, so
YouTube? I thought you were a Twitch streamer.
no,
Oh, that would be cool though.
no.
That would. Well, then you can make money.
You can
Becca.
make money with revenue streaming the ads.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I thought you were leaving.
She just came to sign in.
Right. Okay. So it has to be made in the borders of a country. How is it different than GNP?
That's based on by
if
the
you're a
citizens.
Right. And so this would include it's the citizens of the country, no matter where they are. But not just citizens, the companies You know, like Google is American. Ford is American. Amazon is American. So, we're Amazon no matter where they are, Ford no matter where they are, but like the Smith family, no matter where they are, is going to be, assuming the Smith is, American. My gross national product is, that's a citizen. Can you tell? Citizen. Something happened here. I don't really know what. But that's GNP. What are some things that the GDP is bad at measuring? What are the limitations of GDP? Meaning things that are happening in an economy that aren't being counted or aren't being observed by GDP.
Black market.
The black market, yeah.
Used goods,
Yes,
quality of life.
Wow, used goods. Used
Non-market
goods.
activities,
What is that? What is a
Like when
non-market
you mow your
activity?
like
neighbor's yard,
cash, people.
Yes.
like drugs.
No, that
That's
would be
black
black market. Non-market would be like babysitting.
Oh,
Or
which
maybe-
a man can never do, according to you.
Oh my gosh, I say one sexist thing and people are like, ah. Okay, it's just weird. It's just weird. It would be like having a male kindergarten teacher. That's weird.
Why is that weird?
It is kind of odd.
Why is that weird?
I would trust Mr. Zapata to be a male kindergarten.
Yes.
I think that would be a good fit. So, non-market, used goods, black market, even like the quality of life, meaning of life, meaning like what's the literacy rate? What is the infant death mortality? What do people have access to like water and healthcare and things like that? So, Sammy's saying taxes, question mark? I guess, yeah, taxes would not be, I don't know what you're answering because I'm just now looking at this, so I don't know what question you're answering. But taxes, I guess, wouldn't be measured in GDP.
Stock market.
Yeah, like the financial sector, like the stock market, not counted towards GDP because you're not technically buying a good or a service. You're buying a portion of companies, which is not the same thing. Also, unless you know the population. Oh, what's GDP per capita?
GDP divided by the population.
Yes. So GDP per capita is probably a better indicator than just GDP because like the GDP per capita gives you, obviously per person gives you more accurate of like, is it a really poor country with just a few people? So it's like, well, it's only like a country of like 10 people, but like the GDP is small just because there's so few people, or is it because, whatever. So like, oh, look how rich China is or India is. But yeah, but divided among their billion people, it's going to be a smaller amount. Like the United States, for example, has the highest GDP in the world, but we do not have the highest GDP per capita in the world. Canada even beats us in GDP per capita.
Like 90% of it's frozen wasteland.
Right. I'm pretty sure the correct word is tundra, but you're not far off.
It's just cold.
Yeah. Still, geography terms. I mean, you guys are so good at geography. Okay.
We took geography here, which means we did not take geography.
Hey. I don't know what that means. Limitations, are they counted in GDP? Yeah. Sammy, no, taxes are not counted in GDP. They're counted against it because remember, GDP is at C plus I plus G plus X an equation. And we have,
Hey, Mr. Taylor.
we're growing.
Like long run economic growth.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye, Mr. Taylor.
Bye, Mr. Taylor. We miss you.
Love you. Okay. Let's do more GDP stuff. Let's talk about, hold on. I've got some thoughts. Oh, I guess the equations, but do we really need to write down the equations?
No, it is a
Yes.
Yes,
No.
I took this class like
a billion years ago?
7 months ago.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot that not everyone is taking it like right now.
Yes,
That's why you should take DC Go.
yet, look at the turnout. So, there's so few people, but there's okay. GDP is equal to, let's do the expenditure approach.
oh wait, this is
Six.
SIG extend. Yes? consumption plus investment spending plus government spending plus net exports. Where net exports is kind of a little equation within the equation. It is net exports. I mean, it's exports minus imports.
Wait, the symbol for imports is M?
Yeah, because I is taken.
Oh, yeah, it's.
Capital I is taken because that's investment spending. Little I is taken because that's interest rates. And so we have to do M because that's the next letter.
Oh. I always assumed it was just a typo. I've been writing I. I should probably fix that.
Well, you can as long if it makes sense to you.
Oh,
That's a pretty consistent typo.
yeah, it is.
Right. If it's consistent, then that's not a typo anymore. That's just what you know it as. But then there's also the income approach of GDP. Less used just because of, aggregate demand. Those are the shifters. So we're going to use that one a lot. But the income approach is still GDP, but it's all of our incomes added together. So let's see if you remember.
It's RWIT.
It's RWIT, yes.
Rent, wage,
No, it's
interest,
red.
Rent, wage, interest,
profit.
and profit.
Tristan, you only know that because I told you that yesterday.
Okay, well, I know it, so.
Yeah, well, you only know it because I told it to you a few months ago. So you want to play this game? Okay. Rent is R. That's if you sell land, you charge a rent. If you sell labor, you get a wage. If you sell capital like a pizza oven, you earn interest. And if you sell your ideas and your entrepreneurship, you hopefully earn a profit. You okay there? All right.
If your company is losing money, does that make the profit negative?
Yes. You're in.
Bad for the
The-
GDP.
My bank account.
Oh, no. Well, good thing you're not a business, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So you're just a person who needs food and shelter. But yeah, you'd be earning negative profit. You'd be, what is the bad one? You're either in the black or the red.
Yeah, black is good, red is bad.
So you're being the red.
Yeah,
If you're
black is
negative, yeah.
why it's Black Friday.
Wait, are you
Because
talking about
everybody
BBC
sells so much
Cafe?
stuff that they go into the black and they're not losing money anymore.
There's no way that's why it's called that. Is that why
Yes.
it's called that?
I have no idea.
Red. I thought red was the blood of angry men.
Red, the blood of angry men.
Doe, a deer, a female deer?
No, it's from Les
No,
Mis.
it's Les Mis.
Yeah, but why was the tune the same?
I did that on purpose.
Okay. All right.
It worked really well.
It did. Let's talk about inflation. I want to say inflation. Gotta be inflation.
Is this
Okay.
a new topic?
No,
Oh,
that's a lie.
okay, I'm sorry.
What are aren't there other GDP formulas which are
There's real and nominal, but we got to talk about inflation because that's what inflation is all about. Real and nominal. So yes, there's other equations for GDP, but it's in terms of inflation and not inflation. Be careful. Be less spastic. Okay, let's talk about inflation. All right, inflation is the general rise in prices over time. What are the causes? Causes of inflation.
you expect prices to rise?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's the one I always forget.
Yeah, that's one I always forget. I'm gonna say that last. You know what? I'll say it first. Expectations of inflation.
Yes. Somebody was like, what's the psychology term for a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah, that was Luke.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
But I didn't want to say that.
I thought you just. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Sammy's still good. All right, let's
Quantity
go.
theory.
Hey, what's another cause of inflation?
Quantity theory.
Quantity theory. Explain.
Oh, I don't really remember. I just remember the name. Oh, like more
It's when there's
stuff
too much
means more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
like Germany.
Yes, they printed too much money. There was too much money. Or what about this? Do you remember? I know that. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes,
All right. You had a moment of panic.
I'm fine.
All right. The quantity theory is when the government has too much money, or another way, when the NB side of the monetary equation of exchange is
bigger.
greater than the PQ side.
It's like ideal gas law.
I feel
Pivner.
Sidler.
Wait,
You
what's
want
P?
me to re-explain with those little variables?
Okay.
Price level.
So when we talk about monetary policy, next week probably, I don't remember my calendar, but when we talk about monetary policy, this is called a monetary, a monetarist equation of exchange. This is the reason why we have monetary policy. Their whole purpose, this is M, which is money supply. V is the velocity of money. It should be equal to PQ, where P is price level and Q is real GDP. They should be in balance. If there's imbalance, there's no inflation. It's when there's too much money supplied in an economy, like it's growing at a faster rate than our economy is growing, like our GDP is growing, that's when we have inflation. Does that make sense? Okay. It's been a while.
It really has.
Okay.
Velocity, speed.
Like economics is kind of like a language. If you don't practice it all the time, the language goes away.
I feel like a lot of it is common sense, but part of it is you have to like think in a specific way to approach the questions.
Yes.
I'm
And
trying to run out of that habit.
Yes.
The other
Okay.
day I was like, oh, I feel like I remember everything we learned in economics. Like, oh, we thought, oh.
Hey,
I need to take 2 extra calculus tests.
what's this? What's this?
Push. Cost.
Cost push,
A demand pull.
demand pull. Okay, so those are the two types of inflation. So there's cost push. Cost push is also known as what?
Stagflation.
There we go,
The
stagflation.
general increase of prices.
Caused by what? Because that's inflation in general.
The stagflation is without like getting.
Oh,
It's like not enough
unemployment
supply.
also rises.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that one rises.
So prices are going up and unemployment's going up at the same time.
We're going that way.
That's bad. It's typically because there's less aggregate supply. So like short run aggregate supply shift to the left, which causes like prices to go up, but then like unemployment to also go up. So that kind of stinks. Is that you okay?
It's like the big sad.
It is the big sad. Yeah. That's a synonym for the Great Depression. The big sad. Hey.
Wait. So not really relevant, but
Oh, that's what I love. Yeah. Go ahead.
Short run aggregate supply shifts the Phillips curve, right?
Short and aggregate supply shifts the Phillips curve in opposite directions.
Right.
Aggregate supply goes left, Phillips goes right.
Yes. Okay. Just making
Like,
sure.
Aggregate supply goes right,
demand
Phillips goes left.
doesn't move.
Yes.
On the short run Phillips curve, that is correct.
I got a 60 on a quiz because I flipped them.
Oh, come on, David.
I left my
You literally get a cheat sheet.
I left my notes at home that day, and I remembered like that I could identify which one was aggregate supply and demand going what direction, but then I swapped them for the Phillips curve.
Yeah, that's hard.
That wasn't good.
Who are you?
I don't know. I'm Aiden.
Okay, so demand pull inflation when there's just too much spending, too much C, too much I, too much G, too much XN, and we have like an inflationary gap. It's brought to you by demand pull inflation.
I always heard them say brought to you by, like watching TV as a kid.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was like one word, like brought you by, and I was like, what does that mean?
Well, you know,
They said it really fast all the time, so
English is hard.
it is.
All right, let's talk about like some inflation's okay. Do you remember our goal inflation?
2%.
Well, 2 to 3% is GDP.
That was 4 to 6%.
Actually, let's go back to our GDP and say our goal for GDP is 2 to 3%. So we just took notes over GDP. Maybe add the goal for GDP to change is 2 to 3%, but inflation's 2%.
Is 4 to 6% unemployment?
Yes, 4 to 6% is unemployment, 2% is inflation, 2 to 3% is GDP. Those are like the key numbers you need to know, along with all the other equations and how they work. By the way, in case you haven't known this, no calculator on the AP exam.
What?
Yeah, and also no like equation page. So you got to know all those. I believe in you.
Give us an inflation page to like study. Like, can you put them all on one page so we like?
Didn't you post that in Schoology?
Hey, fall semester kids.
You posted
That's
it in
you.
a really weird format, so I couldn't like print it out or anything.
I don't look at
That's
your
all I
words.
remember.
Okay, did you make a thing? Can I
An
take a
equation
picture?
page?
Yeah. Can they take a picture?
Sure. Wait.
I thought we made the 3
You did. You remember your folder that we made? Oh, no, that's awful handwriting. And yours is no
It's
better.
cursive. No, mine's really good.
No, it's,
It's not
Okay.
bad. It's not bad.
mine's in
It's not
cursive.
Did
bad.
everybody in your fall semester make one?
Can you
Yes.
read it?
I'll get journals. I
That's
bet
a
hers
great-
looks good.
Can you
Great
read
plan.
this, Isabella?
Wait, where did we put that?
Wow.
Miss Taylor, I got it.
It's cursive. It's not like it's
Miss
Taylor.
legible.
I'm
Miss
not saying
Taylor.
it's bad. I
Miss
just,
Taylor, look, it's really good. It's really good.
Oh, it's pretty. Necessary equations.
Would you
Oh
like?
geez, I just shuddered.
we made this in our class too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it took like 2 weeks to do it. I'm glad that I put in all that effort.
Because I was online, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay,
This is bad.
all right.
I've
So we
seen the
have
pages twice.
real versus nominal. Which one is it? Just
Real.
real. That
Should have
means
first.
it's,
I win.
and that means any inflation that has happened, real is after inflation has been taken out. Or if there's been deflation, it's like, you know, you got to pump that real number up because the nominal number is too small. Oh, I'll just write it down. It's adjusted for inflation, while nominal is not adjusted for inflation.
And we're talking about GDP here. right?
I'm talking about, oh gosh, if I can spell. I'm talking about any number that it could have inflation in it. Interest rates could be real or nominal.
Okay.
A wage change could be real or nominal. GDP could be real or nominal. Prices could be real or nominal. So just in general, real is adjusted for inflation, nominal is not adjusted for inflation. Okay, does anyone remember the C words that are synonyms of real and nominal?
Current and
Was it concurrent?
No, that's a good one though.
Consumer price index.
That's no, not
No,
even close.
I think that's the equation I was thinking about earlier.
Yes, you are.
That's a weird equation.
Real is constant.
oh, that means it's the same.
Yes, while nominal is current. So nominal prices use the current dollar value for all the times. For the time that it's in, that's the current value of the dollar using that. Constant is like, well, what if we converted into like the dollar had the constant value over time? Now, like what it would be. Does that make sense? Okay, yay. It's kind of hard to read your faces.
I'm just thinking, this seems so much easier like several months ago.
Yeah,
I
It's
feel
just-
like it seems easier
it's-
now. Because I like understand stuff.
well, I think Becca's feeling a little bit overwhelmed, while you might be feeling a little reassured. Does that make sense? Okay.
Are those psychology words?
No, those are just English words.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So real, nominal. So let's say, oh, and then a CPI. Let's talk about CPI. CPI
Oh, I knew it one.
is the Consumer Price Index.
Okay.
Yeah, I never.
You never understood it? Okay, Consumer Price Index it's a market basket.
What does that mean?
Hold on. A market basket of items where the prices are watched to measure inflation.
So it's like a theoretical basket, right?
Yes. It is not how I assumed in high school. I was on level economics. It is not how I assumed in high school that it was a legitimate, for real basket. No, it is just, think of it like an Excel spreadsheet of like 2,000 items. And then like the top is like, January, February, March, April, May, all the, months of the year and like what the prices of those items are. The market basket is just a list. And they monitor the prices of these things to see like inflation over time. So, the price of everything on this list has gone up. That's inflation. Oh, the price of everything on this list has gone down. That's deflation. And so CPI is just help.
Just like measuring the prices over time.
Yeah, but like I was trying to relate it to like, it is your, you have any science experiment?
Control group.
Yeah,
Modified at which.
It's your control group, right?
Yes.
So you see if that changes by itself.
Yeah, you're just measuring everything against the same products, the prices of the same products. Okay. So, like, what do you do with the CPI? You get a number, and the CPI formula. So, like, how you solve for CPI is you do the percent change of the market basket. Okay. So, do you remember the percent change formula? Don't tell me, boys. I want the girls,
Original
or actually Nick, because Nick's fault too. So, what?
I have no idea.
No, answer this question honestly. Do you know the percent change formula?
No.
Exactly. New minus old over old. No! Is the formula.
New. Chi-squared.
New minus old over old times 100. Times 100. Don't. So new price of the market basket minus old price of that market basket over old price of the market basket, MB for market basket times 100.
Wait, so CPI is percent change?
Of the market basket.
What
In
the heck is
January,
that?
if I bought everything on that list in January, here's how much it cost. I buy everything on the list in February, here's how much that cost. The February price total minus the January price total over the January price total gives me CPI. It's the percent changes of the two different prices over time of the market basket.
So CPI is a percentage number.
If we don't put a percent on it, we typically say CPI is blah, but if there's no inflation, CPI is 100.
Okay.
Because, help, why is it 100?
You multiply by 100, so it would be 1.
Because it's 1, because with this, how would this be 1? This is the same thing as this?
Because if there's
Is there no change here?
Well, it'd be 0.
Yeah.
But 0 over 1.
0.
It's
it's
zero.
still 0.
Times
Oh,
100
God.
is 0.
It's like
Help.
No, 0 times 100.
Oh, they're right.
Let's say it's 100 minus 100. Yeah, it's still,
That means you have 0% inflation.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's
So
the percent
CPI is
inflation.
100?
The CPI is the cost of the market basket now over the cost of the market basket in the base year times 100.
You should find the limit as 100 approaches 100.
Shut up.
nope. Okay,
Yeah,
now,
100.
typically, you're not gonna have to do that, typically. Typically, you have to solve for inflation instead, and that is percent changes of CPI. So if I have market baskets, if I have 2 market baskets, I can tell you CPI. If I have 2 CPIs, I can tell you the inflation rate. So the inflation percent is no, but for CPIs. New CPI minus old CPI over old, oh my gosh, CPI times 100. So it's still percent change, but between 2 CPIs. Nick?
For my CPI, there's no subtraction in the equation. It's just the new divided by the old times 100.
It's very possible that I did not.
Because that looks like a percent error.
Percent error equation?
Yeah, I was like, but that doesn't look like,
It's percent change.
because it's like if you get a 70 out of 100 on a test, you just divide it into 5.
But that is the percent change formula. And that's how you solve for inflation is between 2% changes.
My CPI says price of my market basket year 2 over price of market basket year 1 times 100. And then the inflation percentage is new CPI minus old over old times 100. So we might have.
I see you, Tristan. Tristan, how can I help you?
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused. If the CPI is the relationship between the new and the old market basket, how can you have a new and old CPI for calculating inflation percent?
Help? What?
The consumer price index is for a single year.
Yes.
And the change in the consumer price index represents your inflation.
Yes.
But there it says CPI equals new market basket minus old
I
market.
think that's just supposed to be new divided by old.
And
Am I wrong?
That's what.
Yeah, and that way.
It's very
if
possible that
if
I'm
they're
wrong.
both 100, then it would equal 100, because that's 1. Because 100 over 100 is 1. And it wouldn't be 0.
Yeah, because then if new and old are the same thing.
Yes, I taught it. Oh no.
Okay, I have a CPI problem right here. If you wanna like look and see if you can figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh no, internet.
Oh, I know that problem.
What
I
do
don't know
those,
the
like,
last
do?
one. The last one was hard.
You are solving for CPI? No, you don't need
I don't
to.
know. It's got GDP deflator.
Yeah, you don't need to solve for CPI here because it's giving you the GDP deflator, and those can be used interchangeably.
Okay.
Okay, speaking of interchangeably, we got to get Sammy. Yes, we're about to talk about that. You said, do you use CPI to calculate real from nominal? Yes, you do, because here's the equation. And Becca and Nick, you're right. I did too many percent change formulas because that doesn't add up to good math. That adds up to 0. And I'm just gonna pretend. Look over there. What is that? So it's nominal over market basket year 2 over year 1.
Yes.
So new year 1's the base. That makes sense.
So how do you have an old and a new CPI?
Well, CPI
CPI of 2002 versus CPI of 2003.
Whoa, that's like
New
a year
is
difference.
what?
That's like a year's difference.
It is. So the new year is the most recent year is the new.
Okay, then what's the difference between that and the GDP deflator?
Pause. Let me write the equation down.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Real
You're right, this is more confusing.
GDP. I'm sorry, I totally screwed up.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's not your fault.
Nominal. This is how you solve for real GDP. Nominal GDP divided by either the CPI, GDP deflator, times. Okay. What's the difference between CPI and GDP deflator? Okay. So they both measure inflation. CPI can be taken anytime throughout the year. You send your little government agents out there with little clipboards and they go measure the prices of those things right now. But here's the thing, that list is only like 2,000 things. So you're missing a lot of goods and services that are being sold that are not counted for in the CPI. The GDP deflator, though, uses real data from last year's GDP, which was literally everything that was bought and sold because it's the GDP for that year. So it's more accurate because it includes the prices of everything. But you can only measure it at the end of the year, once the year is over. And so it's more accurate because it includes literally everything sold, but you can only measure it at the end. Versus CPIs, I can get it measured today, but it won't include everything. So it's less accurate, but I can access it quicker. Comprende?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Man, I can't believe I screwed up.
I think you did
Is
that
that
this
what's
year.
Yes. Yes.
I've accidentally walked in there like 5 times this year.
I have
How?
to count the doors
Yeah.
to make sure I go into the right one.
But my name's on that door.
Her door's not covered in paper.
Oh yeah, I was zoned
Yeah.
out. I've walked into Mr. Taylor's room twice. I'm like completely zoned out. I open the door, like the desks are facing me. I'm like, what? Oh.
Goodness.
I'm scared. I'm gonna go up to it and be like, oh, that's so awkward. Oh.
Just look at the nameplate you will apply.
I don't have that good estimate.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Taylor's board's over there.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah, I just have costumes.
It's the same room. It's just everything's faced that way.
Oh.
Well,
Well, that's
only
the-
made $20 per person per year.
Then you get to work.
All right, let's talk about unemployment. Oh, no, just kidding. We gotta talk about the Fisher equation,
Yes.
which is my time to shine, which is about inflation. And then we're gonna do some practice questions, so it's all gonna hopefully click. And we should probably talk about who's hurt and who's helped by unanticipated inflation.
I know the answer.
Banks are
Bang,
hurt.
bang.
Yes.
Yes.
So who's helped?
People who loan money.
Yeah, people who have loans.
Have to pay, yeah. Okay, so the Fisher equation is real percent, and this can do with wages, this can do with GDP, this can do with interest rates.
Percent of what?
Any percent and it could be any percent where inflation is affecting it. So like there is a real and nominal wage. There's a real and nominal interest rate. There's a real and nominal GDP. So you can use any of those percents. It's just the real percent of that number is equal to the nominal percent. Yeah, not that. Nominal percent minus expected inflation, which is also a percent. So, for example, teachers get a 2% raise every year, which is a nominal, like my nominal paycheck gets a 2% raise every year.
Oh,
But there's also 2% inflation every year. How much has my real wage changed? None.
nice.
So the MVPQ thing,
Yeah.
which side means inflation if it's bigger?
The MV, because that's money. Like if there's more money, then the economy is growing because PQ is like, just think of it as GDP.
Okay,
The GDP side, if the money side is bigger than the GDP side, there's going to be inflation.
so if MV is bigger for one country than another, then they have higher inflation.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does. Okay, so that's the Fisher equation.
Is that not in relation to the P times the Q?
Yeah. But
Yeah, but I'm gonna just not mess with the PQ thing.
Okay, yeah, forget I said anything. I feel like we don't hear.
no, yeah.
They only talk
Alright.
about B, so I'm just gonna mess with that side of the equation.
Unexpected
With the direction.
inflation does what to your purchasing power?
Decreases.
Yes, inflation decreases your purchasing power. So unexpected inflation decreases your purchasing power, which is super fantastic if I have to pay money, because I'm paying money that's worthless. Would you like to pay money that's worthless? Sure. It's not a big deal at all. It ain't no thing.
I drew a smiley.
Sammy's asking, what's the word under GDP? I'm gonna have to scroll up for that one. Hold on. This one? Right here, this GDP? The furthest from the bottom. This one? Or you're saying, what does that say? Sammy, answer me! Sammy, blink if you are needing help. I'm just gonna answer your question. Just assume that's the one that you're talking about. That means interest rates. That's an I and an R. Clearly, IR. Interest rates. Moving on.
Are you okay, Miss Taylor?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I think that's good grammar. It's I am.
That's the people that are getting money.
If I am being paid money that is worth less, that sucks.
But isn't that only if it's like fixed?
Yes. When it's variable, you don't know.
Okay.
It's like indeterminate.
So
Wait, fix what?
which
Interest.
Wait, so for variable interest rate, how do they like determine the interest rate at like any given?
Supply and demand.
So if
Okay.
It would
Wait.
stay along with like loanable funds or like the money market graph.
Ooh.
Yeah, so if that's changing, that's going to affect. Is this coming? Yeah.
is the
Seems
money
like it's
market
no.
graph, that's the one with the one line and the other line. Okay.
Well, that defines all graphs.
Well, the one line and then the other line.
That could be Phillips
supply.
curve.
The other way.
Well, that's
I
that.
never learned that.
Money supply is like that.
Money supply.
Downward.
Yes. This is money
Uh,
Wait,
supply.
I guess it would be
This
the
is
same
loanable funds. This is aggregate supply and demand.
You are the long run.
I am the long run equilibrium. Hello.
So if we assume wages and prices are perfectly flexible, what happens to real GDP if you change one of those four things?
Wages and prices. Are you reading this off of something?
Yeah,
Can I see?
yeah, it's the first one on the FRQ. I've needed help with this like for a very long
Okay,
time.
we'll do that in a second because I got to
Okay.
see it in context.
Got it.
Okay.
Go back to
Okay. I
prices.
do want to throw some people on here as well. So who is being paid money that's worthless? Yeah, bankers.
Oh, I heard pay, and I was like, wait.
I think I said paid.
You said pay.
I said, okay. Who else is being paid money that's worthless?
Fixed income, like old
People on a fixed income. Yeah, like Social Security, savings account. If you live off of a savings account or like interest made off a savings account, I feel like a fixed income.
Would minimum wage?
Yes. Great example. Minimum wage. That's a fixed income. That stinks. Like inflation stinks. But if you're being paid, let's say that you are paying rent, like apartment rent.
Ooh, could be school.
500.
Why does this keep breaking?
Are you talking about my brain?
No, like my computer just will just stop. Like it won't let me click on anything.
What about?
Just restart.
No, I just keep.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on?
I did.
I think it's AP Classroom.
It's the standard solution needed.
AP Classroom is terrible.
It is. It's awful.
If you paying back the loan, if you
Can't even refresh the page.
if you're the loanee, is that right?
Loaner versus, I don't know.
So here's the loaner. Here's a loanee.
Loan, or is your loan name?
Is a bank. So then on the receiving end, you're the loanee.
I just want to do my FRQs.
Let's do unemployment first. There are 4 types. Oh, hold on. What does it mean to be unemployed? You are over the age.
For a job.
How old are you?
16 plus.
16. You're over the age of 16 years old. No job, but looking. If you are not looking, you're not considered unemployed.
Discouraged worker.
Stops looking. And so a discouraged worker, why are they discouraged?
Because they can't find a job.
Right.
They make too much money.
Like maybe in a recession or something, they stop looking for a job because of like the economy is just so bad. They stop looking for a job. Are they unemployed?
No.
No, they're no longer in the labor force.
Wait, is the thing with the Laffer curve, like, is that like discouraged workers? Like, is that like?
I don't know. My
Okay.
brain hurts. No, I don't know.
Taxes.
Oh, yeah, that was like the,
Yeah, like the best tax rate.
Laffer?
oh, the one that goes up and then back down? Yeah. that
Business cycle?
Didn't we learn it sideways?
was- I don't know.
I feel like at some point we learned it sideways.
No,
Yeah.
he developed it sideways.
He
Oh,
developed
and then
it
the
sideways.
line is in the middle, and it's like if you're in the middle, it's good, but then if you get too high. it's-
That's the Laffer curve.
Yeah, we don't know where the middle
But the
is.
question
Right.
is the question mark.
What is that for, taxes?
Yeah. Okay. Unemployment. What? Give me a type of unemployment.
Cyclical.
I heard cyclical.
Which is bad.
That's the bad one. That's the one that if you have greater than 6% unemployment, then you must have cyclical unemployment because there's some sort of recession. You have been laid off. You, because of the downwards turn on the business cycle, your job is, it was earlier. I'm answering. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Sorry, Sammy, if I couldn't help you. Frictional. Who's frictionally unemployed?
People who just like are looking for a different job, they don't have the skills for it.
Right. I want to move on with my life. I wanted to go somewhere else. I'm moving to a different country or something. I just graduated from college. I am looking for a better job, better paying, maybe better hours. There's nothing wrong with me. In fact, I'm just fine. I've got the skills. I'm just looking for a new job, looking for new experiences. That's different than structural, though.
Where you don't have the skills for the jobs that are
don't.
available.
Right? Maybe technology changes made me like the skills I do have not necessary anymore. Like I used to bag groceries, but now with like self-checkout, people bag their own groceries. So I am structurally unemployed.
Imagine losing your job to a
And
robot.
Can't
Great.
make a job to a robot if you make robots.
I make robots.
I mean, in a very
Have you
long,
never seen
in
a
a
robot
very
make a
long time.
robot?
Seasonal.
You gotta make those
Yes.
robots.
Have you seen how it's made?
Somebody's gotta make those robots.
Well, yeah, but who says that somebody else can't make the robot that takes over
Have you
your
seen The
job?
Matrix?
No.
Yeah.
Who
Oh.
hasn't seen The Matrix?
Becca.
You haven't seen The Matrix?
No.
That's kind of weird.
Who are you?
Yeah, it's a good
She's
one.
one of them.
I'm one of them.
Agent Smith.
And if I was one of them, I wouldn't be.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. That was high school. So seasonal is just obviously
was
the
like-
wrong time of the year.
From 1999.
I was a freshman in 1999.
Wow.
Like it's 1999.
That's when my sister was born.
Do-do-do.
My brother was born on 9/11.
That's from my sister.
Yes, you tell us that a lot.
That's awful.
Yeah.
There was a girl at my school, Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
The one of 9/11.
In the morning of 2001.
That's a stressful birth story.
No, they were fine. They didn't realize till after.
Oh, yeah, I guess
They
you're
were a bit
normal.
busy.
Well,
Okay. Unemployment, I feel like,
I think we did it.
what else is there to know? Wait,
Yeah.
it's 42%.
what's the natural rate is 4 to 6% of unemployment. Don't forget, this is what it looks like to be unemployed on the PPF curve.
Yeah, because you're not utilizing your full resources.
Right, here's unemployment on an average 5-man graph.
So you're not producing up
Here's
here.
unemployment on the Phillips curve.
Wow, that's a big number.
Here you are.
Oh, the middle one doesn't move, that's right. Oh, well.
I mean, it does, but we don't graph it.
But we're pretending it doesn't.
Low
Kind
interest rates make it go to the right.
Yeah,
But it also means you have less foreign investment because they don't want to save your money here.
I don't know.
Which means the demand for your currency goes down,
Okay,
which will shift real interest rate. No, it'll shape the
on what? Everything?
money. No, the money man saves
Price
the value
level?
of your money.
GDP or Y, aggregate demand, short run aggregate supply, long run aggregate supply. These are your boops, boop, 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 1 and 1. This is inflation and unemployment. This is short run Phillips curve. This is long run Phillips curve. There's your boops, boop, 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 1 and 1. This is capital goods. That's pizza ovens. This is consumer goods. That's pizza. And there's your boop inside the PPF curve.
Is graphs what you guys did the other day?
Well, no. I mean, we did PPF curve the other day.
But we're gonna go over.
We have not done aggregate supply and demand. We'll do that Monday.
That's the one I can't be here for. And that was the one test that I got to see on.
Becca.
Is that the second test? I think so.
I feel like it's the third one, but also I feel like I'm just making that number up.
My worst test was the first test. Like I didn't realize that it was gonna be hard. Like I didn't study. Like I underestimated.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
That was on me. That was on me. I didn't study at all.
All right, let's do some practice questions because I think that's where we get the majority of our knowledge is understanding practice questions. Okay, so we're not going to be shouting out things.
Oh man.
Kristen. You want to go get whiteboards for everybody?
Wait, can we do an FRQ first, please?
Fine.
Because I've been trying to get your help on this one for a very
I
long time.
know. I just am not all that confident when you ask me that question, so I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up.
Were you here?
I was here 2 days ago.
Yes, it's gonna make you feel really stupid.
Okay.
Thank you, Drew.
Here are some
All right.
markers
It's part E on number 1.
of the FRQs that are up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can see Becca's.
Ow.
Which means I'm 1, 2, 3, 4.
What are we doing?
We're going to do some practice questions.
Yeah, have you taken, what informational conformity, right? Is that what it's called? You don't know the correct.
Yeah, informational conform.
Wait, what's this? Wait, what
Yeah.
is this?
Informational social influence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
What is a supply shock and what does it do to the economy again?
supply shock is when aggregate supply shifts. Typically, shock is negative. It would be a negative supply shock. Then it just means shift to the left.
Got it.
Because there's suddenly new resources.
Wouldn't that be the other direction?
Or suddenly less resources.
Massive FRQ review. That sounds right.
Oh
The
no.
first one.
FRQs to study for AP exam. That's what it's
Please no.
This one.
That's not it.
Okay.
It's called practice
Is it
FRQs.
It's no. This one, oh Jesus, 29? No, this one has 17.
Okay.
29 FRQs?
Well, when people are like, "Give me FRQs," I'm like, "Okay, yes, ma'am."
And then Luke's like, you want to grade my FRQs?
Okay. Is
Miss
it
Taylor's
FRQ
not-
practice?
No,
Not
No.
having it. It might be.
no. I saw the name of it just on the
Miss Taylor, if somebody wasn't taking your AP course, would you make them take 2 major grade AP tests?
I'm not
Yeah.
going
Oh,
to
you
be
have to
talking
sit down.
about anybody in here anywhere in the school.
Get it? Because the fingers.
I don't get it.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Oh!
Wait, Isabel, are you taking AP test?
Not anymore, I'm not. If I have to take 2 of them anyways, why would I take 3?
Yeah, might as well
Why would
do
I
everything
say
except
one?
for this class.
No, I don't want to be people that was gonna quit.
It's gotta be FRQ practice.
I don't understand why people take an
It's
AP
not.
class just not to take.
It
Oh wait,
is.
that's the one. That's the one.
Tristan, if
Told
you,
It's college test.
I don't get.
So it's like
credit
taking
for
a
it.
college class, but you don't, like, okay, I'm taking AP biology. My major is
Yes, so-
biomedical engineering.
Me too! Me too, me too.
Where are you going, Becca?
A&M.
Me too!
Really?
As your competition.
Is it though?
Well, A&M, your competition's everybody who's in engineering school.
No.
Like
Everybody.
Yeah,
I'm going to Colorado
because
School of
everybody
Mines.
thinks that engineering and computer science are the same thing.
You're in the engineering
I
school.
got into school of mines just not for biomedical engineering.
Everybody.
They don't have.
Here's a
that's what I'm
graph.
saying.
Whoa, look at that aggregate supply curve. It's
Yeah.
weird. Okay, we got aggregate demand, downward sloping. Looks like we have some sort of equilibrium, price level 100. Real output, which is another synonym for GDP, is 1,000. Sometimes they do this. Just see, can you read a graph?
Can we just,
Yes.
can we just look at it this way? Like,
No, don't do that.
I'm looking,
Okay,
but aggregate demand is always downward
So aggregate
sloping.
demand is the same. It's just, okay, I get it, sorry.
yeah, aggregate demand graph, that is what we know. That's the thing we know. But aggregate supply looks a little funny. Okay, it says the graph above shows the aggregate supply and aggregate demand curves for an economy. Calculate the spending multiplier if aggregate demand shifts to AD prime as a result of an increase of government spending by $100. Okay, so we haven't practiced all of this just yet. Aiden just wanted to go over this really quickly. I have other questions that are more relevant to what we've been covering, but we're gonna do this one together. Okay, because Becca looked like she was freaking out, but I'm telling her that she shouldn't be prepared for this just yet because we haven't talked about the spending multiplier in a while. But it looks like that there was a change of spending and spending times KS gives us a change in real GDP. It tells us the spending of $100, $100, I guess. And we're solving for KS, it looks like, because they are asking about the spending multiplier. And it looks like it shifted to the right by $400. So the spending multiplier must be 4 because it's what times 100 equals 400? 4.
500.
Okay. B, will a decrease in income taxes have to be larger, smaller, or equal to the $100 in order to shift AD by the same amount as that $100 increase in government spending? And explain. Well, remember that KS is bigger than KT. The spending multiplier always has a bigger effect than the tax multiplier. So the decrease in taxes is to have the same effect is going to have to be larger because since the multiplier is smaller, they're going to have to make it up with a bigger tax cut than a spending change. It's okay. All right. Letter C. Oh, come on, let me scroll.
MPS.
Okay. C, if the MPS decreases, will the spending multiplier increase, decrease, or remain unchanged? Well,
You said no blurting, guys.
if MPS decreases, will the spending multiplier, okay,
It's this one.
it increases, right? Okay. If you didn't know that, you could just test it out. And common MPSs,
So the equation for the spending multiplier is 1 over NPS.
yes.
Or 1.
I thought it was 1 over 1
Over
minus
over
MPC.
one.
It's the same, it's the same, that's the same, that's the same. So, common NPSs are like maybe like
How dare you?
0.4.
4, and then like, I'm gonna
Wait,
decrease it to 0.2. So 1 over 0.4 is gonna give me an answer. And 1 point, look at that. It went from 2.5 to 5. It increased. Increased. Okay, we good so far? Aiden? Girls? Boys?
So
So
what am I?
everyone but
Here's Aiden.
Okay, I can live with that.
Non-binary, I don't know. Question D. Now assume instead that the aggregate supply curve is upward sloping, because in the problem it was like horizontal, and so now it's upward sloping. With a change in real GDP be greater than, less than, or equal to the change in shown in the above.
Can we go back up?
Yeah.
It would be less than.
I don't remember what it looked like.
Oh my break.
See, it doesn't work for me either. I can't click it.
Okay, but that's because she's.
So if this was upward sloping, it would be a smaller change just because of the slope. When it's horizontal and you're going forward, you cover more space than if you're. It's easier to go in a straight line than go up a hill.
Length of a curve.
Something.
Yeah.
I drew out a little graph that showed that it intersects sooner than if it's horizontal.
Okay. I don't know what did it say to explain, or are you just like, oh, I hope it didn't say explain.
That one just sort of like common sense.
Okay. No, it doesn't say
Did I
explain.
say length of a curve?
Yeah, you could use the integral from a to b of the square root of 1 plus f prime of x squared dx.
So here, I'm writing it down. Don't worry.
It's just simple math. I don't want to do calculus.
All right.
Now I'm stuck.
Now, assume that wages and prices are perfectly flexible. As a result of the 100 increase in government spending, will real GDP increase, decrease, or remain the same? And explain.
So I feel like since I spent more, GDP is going to increase, but then why are they talking about wages and prices?
Isn't that like automatic stabilizer?
Ooh. It's just saying that wages and prices will change with inflation.
So you don't have to worry about
So if inflation's going up, so will wages and prices. I feel like since they're asking about real GDP, I feel like it's unchanged. This is just, I haven't looked at the key. I feel like it's unchanged because inflation's going up. Nominal GDP is going to go up. Ooh, I feel like it's unchanged. Let me see.
I would like to see the key.
You don't trust me. I don't trust
We'll
you
speak
either.
to a manager.
You said you don't know.
I'd like to speak to a manager.
Please be unchanged. Let me earn my degree today.
I don't think
I'll clap
so.
for you if it is.
What?
Okay.
I would have gotten that wrong.
Okay. Just because I don't like the way that it's defined. I don't like the
Okay.
explanation at all. I would say because if inflation's going up, when aggregate demand to the right, but also your wages go up at the same time, real GDP, real output, real income has not changed at all. It's like the Fisher equation.
Could you say that slower?
Yeah. So prices are going up, and if wages are flexible, so will wages by the same amount. Like prices are going up, wages are going up. Real GDP is not only all the goods and services that we make, it's the income we make. Remember, you can add up total income or total spending. They're talking about wages in part of the equation. So it's trying to make you think about the income part. It's putting you in the perspective of income. So if price is going up and your wages are going up, your real GDP isn't changing. Remember, teachers get a pay raise at 2%, but inflation goes up by 2%.
Gotcha. So since the wages and price level are following inflation, they don't change in the real.
If prices go up, but your wage is fixed,
Yes.
you really make less, right?
Yeah.
But if prices go up and it's saying wages are also going up too because they're flexible, they can flex a change, they will go up too because wage is the price of labor. So if prices are going up, so will wages. If they go up by the same amount, you really made no change.
But didn't the question say what government's spending?
True, but it was based off of the government spending. The government spending shifts aggregate demand and therefore GDP and prices. You okay? Well, you want to go back to the ones that I had prepared?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Taylor.
You're welcome. Man, I was scared about that question. Okay.
Aiden, can we get Chick-fil-A on the way home?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
What a friend.
Yeah. Tristan is my bestie.
Are you just saying that because he's sitting right there?
I left
Are you
this
gonna buy somebody?
flashlight on the bottom of my truck, on the bottom of my car. So now I have to drive all the way back over there just to take the flashlight out of my car.
Can you see that?
Is the flashlight on?
No, I don't know where it is, but he like, oh my god, he's like, hey, I left my super huge flashlight in your truck.
I think you can see
Inside
that.
your truck?
I don't know. No, he wasn't inside my car, but he wasn't inside my car. He had to fix the light and put my license plate on.
What's the sticker that says
Not
what?
like in your car, but like within
What?
like the
Do you have a
body of
sticker
your
that
car.
says what?
I think so.
That's pretty
Oh.
nice.
I think it says that's what she
Now I
said.
have to drive back over
I
there.
feel like if that
Oh,
was
is it- is
medical, you would be suing
uh,
for malpractice. Like, oh yeah, I left.
Oh my
my
God.
This
son-
one, yeah, it really lightly it says that's
Oh,
what
shoot,
she
there's a
said.
towel inside his chest.
Yeah,
But you can't-
that's Michael Scott.
You can't see it.
I know you can't really see it. All right, so let's look at the board. It says which of the following will happen if the actual inflation is greater than the expected inflation? What equation do you typically think about with expected inflation?
Fisher.
Fisher
Is
equation.
that who it is?
Yeah, so I would think of this in terms of the Fisher equation.
So
Real.
You know what? I don't know if you need to write it down if you look at the answer choices. It says lenders of fixed rate loans will be better off. Lenders of variable interest rate loans will be worse off. Borrowers of fixed rate loans will be worse off. Borrowers of fixed rate loans will be better off. And borrowers of variable interest rates.
I have a hard
Also-
time with these.
Can we eliminate some of these?
Yes,
Yes.
it's not A.
They can't be any of the burgers.
It can't be any of the variable.
Oh, wait,
Get rid of that? Get rid of that. So we have lenders of fixed rate better off. Borrowers of fixed rate worse off.
That's the same.
That's the same thing. Because if the lenders are better off, that's got to mean that the borrowers are worse off. So if that's the same thing, we don't even need to read this, but it's true. It's D.
Okay, can you explain like how?
Because this is like who's hurt and who's helped by unanticipated inflation. So the actual inflation is greater. So we have, surprise inflation. We have unanticipated inflation than what we expected. So it goes back to banks being worse off
Okay, yeah.
and loanies being better off.
So how does that fit into here? It's like if I expect 2% inflation, and then it goes up to 4% inflation, then I end up with a 2% real inflation, as opposed to like,
Isn't it just saying that real is greater than nominal as expected?
Hold on. Pause. This is a bank.
your pen?
This is a bank.
Okay,
A,
yes,
they charge 10. They expected to be 2. They were looking for 8.
okay.
Okay? It's more than they expected.
Oh, so
It's more than they expected. It's 5. Now I'm left with 5. They're worse off, but who's better off?
the person that's now
Whoever, the
only
other
paying-
person.
So now they're only paying like 5% real.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does. Economics makes sense.
Sometimes it doesn't.
It does all the time.
Mm-mm. I disagree
science.
fully.
It's a social science. It's a soft science.
I don't like squishy science. I like hard science.
All right. The table below shows the labor markets for a nation. We have 3 million that are structurally unemployed, 4 million that are cyclically unemployed, 2 million frictionally unemployed, 91 million are classified as employed, and the working age population is 150 million. What is the nation's
I
unemployment
got
rate?
it. Don't worry. I got it. Unemployment. Oh boy.
+1 +2. Oh, wait, that's not that one.
No, it's not. 3 + 4 + 7. That's not. Oh, it's just. I know it. Do you want me to say it? Wait,
No.
we're not saying it. We're supposed to write it.
So right, interesting.
I wrote it. Did you write it? I wrote it.
Oh, my answer isn't an answer choice, so I think I did it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not unemployed divided by employed. It's number of unemployed divided by the labor force. The labor force is the number of employed plus the number of unemployed.
This was lots of things.
So why isn't it 7 divided by 100?
It's 7, it is
It's 9 divided by 100.
Oh, I'm really good
4,
at
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9
cylinder.
divided by 100.
Okay. Oh.
How much time do we have per question on the AP test?
You get 70 minutes for 60 questions.
Oh, that's fast.
It is fast.
It takes me like 10 minutes to read every single one.
Too bad you get one.
No, don't we get a little bit more than one?
Yeah, but you to read it? When is she gonna answer it?
Just answer it in like a split second.
Just blink, and in that blink, just pick an
Yes.
answer.
Wait, where did Aiden go?
He had to answer something on his phone.
What if I just cried on the AP test? Would they feel bad for me if I like soaked the paper with my tears?
They might feel bad, but it wouldn't do anything to your score. In fact, it might make your score worse if your answers are illegible.
Oh. In my AP chemistry room, someone slipped a 20 into their testing book.
That
Why would you do
is
that?
a waste of money.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, who the following groups of people would benefit
Oh, I
from
got this.
unanticipated inflation? Savers, borrowers, lenders.
Wait, unanticipated inflation, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I got it.
That made me roll. Are those the only? Okay, it's.
It's 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 or 1 and 3.
Okay, I'm trying to think through this.
Are you sure?
I think it's.
Yeah.
I do.
It's this one.
I do. This is two-sided.
What's the other side gonna be?
It's D.
I don't know. I mean,
I've
it's
seen
all
it just be
about
like this,
wood on
this
one side.
material.
Oh, like
Yeah.
cardboardy.
It's D. Right?
I feel like it's 1 and 2.
I thought savers get hurt because,
The money they saved is worth less.
yeah.
Since the
Oh,
money
it's
you get-
benefit. I read it incorrectly.
Okay, I was just kidding.
It should be whoever is paying back, and you pay back when you borrow. It should be borrowers. Savers are hurt.
Why?
Who? Why? What part?
Why are savers hurt? Like,
Because your savings account is not keeping up with inflation. Inflation is eating away more interest. Sorry. Yeah, eating away more interest than you're gaining.
Biden.
What if interest? If you earn 0.01% interest on your savings account? Too bad. Inflation is going up like 2% a year. So you lose 2% of purchasing power, but you're like, but I'm getting interest less than inflation.
So you should be spending that money now.
You should be putting it in an account that either keeps up with inflation, so you're not losing purchasing power, or making more than inflation, so you're actually gaining.
Was it B?
Yes. Sorry. All right, look at this table. What's the GDP?
Oh, I got this.
I'm not even going to show you the answer choices because you can just do the math.
Individual. Private investments.
Okay, I'm definitely doing this wrong.
Wait.
The equation's on the board somewhere.
So mine is
See the answers?
No.
No.
No, not yet,
No, I want to know what my
No,
choice is.
shh.
Pretend it's an FRQ.
When it says government purchases, it means government spending,
I
right?
can't answer that.
Is there like
Why
a
not?
Kristen.
Isn't there a shorthand for billion?
I'm
B?
pretty sure I did this wrong. I didn't. I'm not adding this one.
Does
Okay.
anybody know how to say billion in Spanish?
Billion.
Is it actually? I don't think it is.
If million is million, I'm going to safely assume that
Billion.
billion is billion.
Trillion.
Isn't Mila just 1,000?
Is it one?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, it should be C plus I plus G plus XN.
Yes.
C is 175. I is 30. G is 40. But XN is exports minus imports.
Wait,
So it should be 75 minus 100. So we're actually subtracting 25.
You don't subtract taxes.
You do not.
I got 220.
Oh, that's a special.
Yes.
thing.
Is it 220?
It is 220.
Yes. I don't know why that math took me so long.
Math is hard.
I added 20.
Barbie said so herself.
Kristen, stop doing that. It's weird.
What's wrong with you? In a specific year,
There's a lot of
why don't they just
questions.
actually give me an actual year? In a specified, specified, non-specific. I'm illiterate. In
Yeah.
specified year, nominal GDP
That could be
grew
better.
by 11% and real GDP grew by 4%. Inflation for this year would be you might be the slowest person to answer on this math problem.
I was completely zoned out. I wasn't paying any attention. I was thinking about how to erase my board.
Not with your hair.
Yeah.
It is 7. Good job, everybody. It
I
is 7.
got that, but it's just.
Okay, a short run increase in national income could be caused by a decrease in which of the following?
What? Oh, I got it.
A short run increase in national income could be caused by a decrease in which of the following?
Wait. A decrease.
Put it, say
Okay,
decrease
okay,
for
okay,
all
okay,
of those
okay,
answer
okay,
choices.
Okay.
Not the KKKKK.
It should be CCCCCCC.
Wait, net exports equals.
Exports minus imports. So
Oh.
we lower the thing that we're subtracting, our number answer will get bigger.
Yeah.
I just forgot which one went where, which like I don't know why it should be logic, but
Logic, my
your
stepbrother.
stepbrother.
The CPI is criticized for. You can read. Can you read?
Can you read them?
Can you read it?
Oh my
It's too much
god.
to read.
You're linguistically intelligent.
I'm not. Thanks though. The CPI is criticized for A. Overstating the true burden of inflation because it does not recognize consumers' ability to substitute goods and services as prices change.
That sounds good.
B, overstating the true burden of inflation because it recognizes consumers' ability to substitute goods and services for prices change. Are
Okay,
those?
yeah, I don't like
Okay.
reading.
One of them is done.
C, understating the true burden of inflation because it does not recognize consumers' ability to substitute goods and services as prices change. D, understating the true burden of inflation because it recognizes consumers' ability to substitute goods and services as prices change. Or E, overstating the true burden of inflation
that
because it
must be
reflects both prices of both intermediate and final goods.
Oh, it's this one.
Tell me right now.
Is that an
Tell me
A?
right now.
Yes, it's an A. What else
Oh
would
my
it
god,
be?
I'm so smart.
You drew it like a star.
I feel like it's A.
No, it is A.
It is A.
It's A because I say
It's
it's
definitely A. A is for
You
Aiden.
obviously can't understate it if you don't recognize their ability.
You're, look at you.
Yeah.
That's some good reasoning right there. And it's correct. It is A.
Period.
The end.
If the CPI increases from 200 to 240 in 1 year period, the inflation
got
rate is what?
I got it.
This one's going to be the percent change,
I got it.
not the other one that I said earlier, but this one.
This was really hard math.
You have to do that a calculator too.
That's really okay. How much is it? Wait,
I didn't get it right. What's 40 divided by 200?
I'm not.
Simplify. Simplify.
0.2%.
20%.
2,
1/5.
4, oh,
That's what I was going
what
for.
helped?
I knew there was
No, there's no 5.
240 minus 200 over new minus old over old. So it's 240 minus 240 over 200. Yeah, it's 4 over 20. 1 over 5 times 100 is 20. That's a lot of
Shouldn't you
twos.
just have divided by 2, like get it to 100?
Actually, we're on the last step.
No, there's 2
Yeah, you
more.
could do that.
Don't remind her, she's already depressed
She
enough.
texted me during the phone today.
What did you
And then
say?
she called Miss Marshall, and I was just like, I was having a mental breakdown. You can shush.
Why?
She was like, Isabella, why aren't you in advisory? And then I didn't respond, and then she was like, text me and come see me. And then she called Miss Marshall, who's my
Yeah,
sister.
she did ask me where you were.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No.
Yeah. No. Hypothetically.
What was hypothetical about that statement? It was very.
If it was Miss Finger, then she would have texted me that.
So CPI measures which of the following?
Innocence.
A change over time in the weighted prices of particular goods of a group of services.
What is weighted mean?
Okay, so like of the 2,000 things that are on this list of CPI, they're not of equal importance. The price of a gallon of milk probably is more important than like the price of pencils. Okay, and so they weight the value of the important things that would really affect spending.
And CPI doesn't include that, right?
No, CPI does have weighted stuff, but it does not focus on just weighted things.
It's A.
Yeah.
Isn't it B?
I say it's B.
Okay, well.
This is my answer.
CPI doesn't measure services, right?
Oh, we definitely don't.
CPI measures services.
Like an oil change.
Well, crap, is it weighted? Is it just saying that the fact that they're on the list
It
makes
doesn't
them
make any
weighted?
sense.
Okay, what the hell is a wholesale price index? Can we talk about that?
I'm gonna assume it's not that. I'm gonna go
Wholesale
A.
is not retail.
So it's like
It's like
Well, that's not GDP.
capital goods.
Right.
Wow.
No, you're not wrong.
It's like if HEB or like if Michael Kors sells to Ross.
Hey.
That's wholesale, right?
I don't like the way it's weighted. I know that they're weighted differently, but maybe just being on the list is weighted.
But if I buy from a wholesale retailer or a wholesaler,
That's
Does
why
that
we
count
buy
to
stuff in
GDP?
bulk.
What?
if I buy from a wholesale place instead of retail, does it count for GDP?
That counts as GDP.
Oh, how do they know?
I don't know.
Taxes.
I guess. Ah!
I think it's D.
Oh, crap. Which of the following is frictionally unemployed? Yes.
Because
You
he's not-
spoiled the show.
I'm sorry.
The first
That was
one
an
would
easy
be they're not unemployed.
Right.
The second one would be cyclical.
Yes.
The third one would be not unemployed.
Well, they'd be employed.
So not.
Not unemployed.
We did that one.
Frictional.
E would be structural.
Yes.
Because you got replaced by a robot.
If unemployed workers become discouraged and give up trying to find work, the number of workers employed and the unemployment rate would change in which of the following ways?
Didn't we do this yesterday or 2 days ago?
I don't even know.
My answer is probably wrong.
I didn't hear it.
That's what I said.
What?
Someone's discouraged. How does it change those numbers?
Employed would not change, but the unemployment rate would decrease.
I feel like you're correct. Let's see if you are. You are.
Wow, Aiden, you're really carrying us.
Thank
Which
you.
of the following would be true if
I
the
make that
actual inflation rate were less than the expected inflation rate? The actual, what it really is less than what they expected.
Underpredicted.
I thought we weren't supposed to blur it out or steal that.
I was trying to pronounce it. I was like, what does that word say? Underdemiciated?
You're underpredicted?
What's underdemiciated?
Oh, we've got lots of different answers here.
This is really awkward.
Is this
It's like I
right?
didn't write.
It's D.
What?
Pretend I didn't write anything down. Oh my gosh, hello.
I said my name.
Why is it not A?
Because it was over predicted. Because they
They thought
said
it
it
was
was
gonna
gonna
be
be
3%.
Oh.
The actual was less than expected. Expected is what they predicted. They just said it's over, so why would it be under?
I guess we're all just illiterate then.
Yeah, just because Ada said it out loud, oh, Ada must be right. And Tristan was like, oh, don't shout out the answer. So Tristan said it must have been right.
Well, no.
Yes, yes, yes,
No,
yes.
Tristan was just wrong on his own.
It's not the same thing.
Underdemiciated.
What does
Okay.
It's from bedtime stories.
What?
That's what that means.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's what you.
Do I need to
explain?
What?
Do I need to explain?
Yeah, because they're paying more than they should have paid.
Yeah, so remember,
More of the rate is being paid by them than by the actual inflation because the expected inflation was higher. So they have to make up like the extra percentage that's not being taken care of by inflation.
Aiden, I don't mean that's just an insult in any way, but you always sound like you're explaining things to people. Even if everybody else
I explain it
understands
to
it.
me.
Okay. I know that's what you're doing, but it always sounds like you're explaining.
Maybe I am
Luke and roll together.
the best way to learn is to try to teach someone else. So when he's explaining it, he's also
That's why
learning
Aiden
it.
gets 109s on his.
Which of the following situations would benefit, I feel like we had the same question over and over again. Which of the following
You have
situations
this
would
like-
benefit lenders of fixed interest rate loans?
Wait, fix.
Lenders or bakers?
Rangers.
Oh my god, I'm so
Oh.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Definitely A.
Actual.
Ooh.
Actual, wait, hold on. I know what it is.
Yeah, I love A as the answer choice.
What does A even mean?
And A's a stupid answer.
That doesn't, like.
Thank you.
Okay,
You like
You like jazz?
no. Okay,
Spend the rest of our lives as honey slaves to the white man.
It's from the B movie.
Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Ooh, black and yellow. Shake things up a bit.
okay, the term value added,
I really almost sent it.
the term value added for a firm is best defined which of the following. This term pops up sometimes, very rarely. Let's see if you can figure it out. What does the term value added mean?
It's the amount of value that is added.
Yes. Now, which of those answer choices says that?
Am I right?
Yeah, I really don't want to answer.
I don't want to be
Okay.
wrong, but I think I'm
I added value to something. I got it, and then I made it better. I added value. I purchased something from another firm, and then I made it better.
You purchase more pizza ovens.
The firm's sales minus the cost of what it took. Like I took a pepperoni and I turned it into a pizza. And the difference between what I spent on pepperoni and the price of the pizza is the value added to that pizza.
So
Pepperoni.
is that not
Just the
profit?
pepperoni pizza.
Because it's like profit from what you sold versus
A bunch
what you
of small
bought.
pepperonis on a big pepperoni.
So E is
Is
correct,
pizza
but it's just not
toast?
explained well enough.
It's pizza
if you
sandwich.
just,
No, it's toast.
Because to be considered
You've never had
profit,
an
it
open
has to
faced
be
sandwich?
what you
That's
earn minus
toast.
what you spent.
That's
Right.
not toast. It's an open faced
But it's-
Toast.
if it says minus cost instead of sales,
So does that make a calzone
That's fine.
sandwich?
No, it's a large open.
So from is like saying.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
An empanada is not made out of dough.
you're saying sales minus profit. That's not right.
No, it's not.
Okay, sales minus cost is profit. then.
Yes.
What's it made of?
Corn.
Oh God.
Empanadas are made of dough.
No, they're made out of corn.
That's the answer. It didn't pop.
It's not a dough.
What are you doing?
They're arguing.
Okay. Which of all transactions will be included in the GDP of 2020?
That's
I'm
investment.
pretty sure we did this question in class.
I think it's C.
It is C.
Because it's a part of investment to buy new capital.
That's correct.
for
Why
better
not A?
pursuits. The stock isn't part of it.
Why not B?
Use
Because
used.
Why not D?
Because that's not
because that's
Because
none of
that's-
Does
those.
anyone know what that's called? Social Security? What like the term for that is?
Welfare?
Yeah, but the welfare is also this.
government spending.
No, it's transfer payments. So
Oh.
transfer payments don't count because you're not buying an old person. When the government buys, like pays Social Security, they're not buying goods or services. They're transferring money. That is not counting. And then this is like,
Sounds like the
That's
black
not
market.
even-
that's the non-market, not black. Carrots. If it said like marijuana, sure, black market, but it's carrots.
Maybe they're meth laced carrots.
Oh my.
I've seen people hide cocaine.
That explains a lot about like Bugs Bunny. Okay.
He does cocaine.
All right. Do you want to do this one?
But it's,
Are
how do
we
you
done?
see
Oh, an
it?
FRQ. Let's do it.
Oh my God. Okay.
I just sit on the ground because of all the people taking up
I have a
seats.
really bad headache. My finger really bad.
That's fine. Not that it's fine.
Wow.
That you.
Sorry, I was in
I'm
trance.
not
I'm like, I
over
was
here so that I can actually.
No, I was just-
It
I was
sounds
gonna say
like
it's fine if you don't want to do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Where are you?
Okay. I don't want to do it either. I just know that I'm gonna have to.
Or Aiden can just do it.
And then explain to us.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay. You want to do it together? Let's do it together.
Yay.
Okay. It says the GDP deflator is 160. All right. There's our country for 2018. Calculate nominal GDP in 2018.
6.
Nominal GDP in 2018 is just the money that was spent.
Okay, so you just use the equation, you wouldn't have to like do anything else.
Right.
I feel like if you just kind of explained like steps for each thing, you wouldn't actually have to solve it out. Unless we really feel like doing it. Try hard.
Okay. Well, let's just.
1,600.
Okay. It would just be C plus I,
1,600.
plus G,
1,600.
plus XN, which is already done for you. Okay.
Wait, couldn't you also do R width? Doesn't it have all the same?
What if we did our WIP? Rent plus interest plus wages. Where's wages?
Employee compensation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Plus profits. Does that all add up to the same?
Yes, 1,600.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Does it?
Yes.
I'm gonna pretend it does.
No, I just calculated it.
Explain why the income approach. Oh my God.
Yeah, as of 15.
Look at. Explain why the income approach for calculating GDP yields the same value as the expenditure approach.
I got 1,800.
Well, how do you
Because
explain
there's no
that though?
420.
The money made is the money spent.
Oh, but
Sorry?
that's like so.
200 in profit is not 400 in savings.
Oh, oops, I wrote the wrong number.
Okay. Calculate one difference between CPI and GDP deflator. Remember what I said what the difference was earlier between those two things?
GDP is more accurate because it includes all the value of things, but you can only do it at the end of the year.
Yeah, there we go. Using the GDP deflator, calculate the real GDP for 2018. What was the nominal?
1,600.
1,600?
600.
The GDP deflator is
1,000. 1,000. 1,000.
Oh, times.
1,000.
It'd be
1,000.
100.
1,000. But it's times 100. It's 1,000.
Oh, you're right. Look at all the zeros.
1,600 on the
It should be 1,000. Assume that wheat farmers in country X sold their entire crop of wheat to domestic wheat millers who sold it to domestic bakeries. If the value of the wheat farmer sales added to 10 million, the value of the wheat miller sales is 25, and the value of the bakery sales is 65 million. How much of country X's nominal GDP change as a result of this transaction, and explain?
65 million because the rest are
is intermediate price.
input prices.
Let's actually see if you're right, because as I was reading it, I wasn't paying attention to. I was just saying words, and I didn't hear what I was saying.
Yeah, no, they're right if I think it's properly done.
What if you're wrong?
I think y'all are right. So if I'm wrong, you're wrong.
65.
There we
This
go.
is only the final product, and all the other intermediate stuff. Good job. Didn't count. Yay! Hey, solid work, guys. Solid work. If you could all just
How are
erase
you?
your boards with, your shirts or your hair, or your sleeves, your pant leg, and then put
Tristan.
and then put it back. Thanks for paying
my foot
attention.
is
If you were anyway, goodbye.
Can I take a Hershey kiss?
You may.